I am Roman Johnson, and I am your freedom doctor. And I am talking today about the topic of authenticity. Um, so let me just do some technical check right quick and see if I can be heard. So let me know if y'all can hear me. My brother just said that y'all can't. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so I think I am able to be heard, and let's not bring up this Facebook page again and go. I think I can. I think I'm heard because I just heard myself on my the phone. I was just checking to see what could be heard by other people, right? So excuse that technical difficulty. And I'm going to do this thing over because sometimes in your process, you'll have to do things over so that you can impact the people you want to make. And so that when I'm editing this video, of course, that part won't be in here. So let's do it over. Cool. Okay. Um, welcome to Medicine Monday. Today is Monday, May the 3rd, 2001, and I am the Freedom Doctor, and my name is Roman Johnson. So there is a Google Voice number that you can text that will have the number for you to reach to make sure that I'm answering all the questions you have, right? And you'll see it posted on the page of Medicine Monday. So, and that number is 732-359-2293. And that is the number you can text today. So, okay, jumping right into our lesson on authenticity. As I was saying while I was muted, authenticity is a really tough subject for me in particular because I'm a person who, as most of us have, dealt with like rejection, and it can hurt being your naked self in front of people and you are not received. But in the same token, when you show people who you really are, you can really be seen by the people who like what they're seeing and like the energy they're getting, and allow those people who don't really understand or get your energy to move as they please, because we all have different energies that do different things. And my energy is about empowerment and healing and exposing those wounds that we have so that we can use those wounds as energy for transformation, right? So authenticity. As I was saying earlier, in my practice run, I'll call it, one of my favorite thinkers about this topic is Brene Brown. And she basically defines authenticity as the ability to show up as you truly are and to be confident and bold in that. And I say, okay, I hear you, Brene Brown. But for me, as a Black Southern queer person, I think authenticity has meant for me being who I truly am and risking that and risking being naked in public. And um, and as I am risking being naked, people see me and people receive me, and they get that clarity of who I am, and they decide to be in community with me. I think what's missing from Brown's definition of authenticity is the role of authenticity in community. In fact, as we are ourselves, as we truly are, you know, those limitations, those shortcomings, those those ugly parts of ourselves, those parts that we may not like about ourselves on different levels, um, we we can create community in our shortcoming and find those people who have the antidote to our the things that we don't like about ourselves. But in the same light, those shortcomings are also our greatest clarity about what we can manifest in our lives, and the power we have with us. Um, and I'll break this down for our lesson today. So, getting at the root of why authenticity is difficult for many people. Authenticity, I think, is difficult for many people because nakedness is not comfortable. Um, I believe vulnerability is a superpower, but for many people, they may feel like nakedness means like I'm weak, and in fact that I don't have power because maybe you or maybe I'm a person who has gotten my power from like controlling how people see me or controlling um, how people feel about me for in doing things to make sure that people see me in a good light, right? Um, and often I think the resistance to nakedness, right? The resistance to being vulnerable in our families, in our communities, in our friendships, in our romantic relationships is because really we're defending ourselves against possible hurt. And what is that hurt? That hurt is being misunderstood. That hurt of that hurt that hurt could look like people using your nakedness as something to manipulate you with. If you may feel like if people know your frailties or your weaknesses, then they'll be able to get over on you. And these are all narratives, right? That I'm going to unpack, and we're going to get free from these ideas. I'm going to go and see who is here on this page and see if anybody is here. Okay, all right. Just one person so far. Cool. That's my brother, y'all. That's my brother. I love him. Okay. So as I was saying, um, yeah, like one of the main reasons why we don't want to be naked in our communities, in our families, in our relationships, any type of relationship is because we don't want to be hurt. We don't want to be manipulated. And being our true and naked self, you know, to let people really hold our truths and really hold what we feel. And I also think a reason why being vulnerable is hard because we don't want to be truly seen by people. And uh, I'll give an example. I think about vulnerability and I think about platonic relationships. Like if so, in the past, I had a friend. I may express, you know, I don't really like a thing that they do, and I let them see my heart and how it hurts me, and you know, I'm risking that I may not get what I want from that conversation, or I may not get what I want from sharing that truth with them. And I put my heart out there to be held, possibly. And so Um, no. Someone's asking, did they miss my live? If you can hear me now, just go to my Facebook page at Medicine Monday and Freedom Fridays with the Freedom Doctor, and you'll be able to see my live, okay? So yeah, we don't want to be seen because in allowing ourselves to be seen, we put our heart out there in that attempt to be seen. And it's a possibility that the person who you want to see you, who you want to hold your heart, won't actually hold your heart. We don't want to be known. Have you ever been in a place where you really needed to share your feelings with someone? You really need to share what you were going through, but you felt like in sharing that truth about yourself, you would change the dynamic between you and your friend or you and a family member, because that truth about you would change how they see you. And we don't want folks to know certain things about us, because our ego tells us that if certain people knew things about us, then we can't take that knowledge back from them, right? And that knowledge of that truth about us would mean that maybe you have to sacrifice some control over the relationship between you and that person. And the last reason I think why authenticity is difficult to exist in is we don't want to fail and be left naked. And I think the friendship example is a good example of that. For example, like when I have shared my heart with a friend and I'm seeing if they're going to receive it, right? You know, that is that expectation that's human in relationships. And often we get that wisdom like, oh, you know, you can't be invested in what people do with your heart, what you do with what people do with what you give them. But I still think that the expectation to be received is a human thing, right? So we don't want the giving of our heart to result in failure. In other words, we want to get something. We want to get understanding. We want to get love. We want to get affirmed. We want to get supported when we share our hearts. And we don't want to be in a situation where we are not getting our hearts held. We're not being heard. We're not getting affirmed. We're not getting supported. So those are 4 examples of why it is difficult to be authentic. And so in knowing that, I want you to be compassionate towards yourself as you strive for authenticity. But I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Authenticity in all the shortcoming and all the weakness you think you have and all the lack of clarity. Like for me, one of my vulnerabilities or insecurities is when I talk, I'm not sure if people really understand what I'm saying, and I'm not sure of the impact that I make on people through my words. So these videos that I'm doing really have been an experiment for my sense of self-esteem and even my purpose, my understanding of my purpose and my gift of healing and empowering people past empowering people past their insecurities that really come from wounding and doing something with that. So yeah, I mean, that's real for me. And for you, let me know how you let me know how you feel about that. Give me 1 second. I'm just texting a friend who's asking, another friend who's asking me in my live. So yes, I'm live. I'm very live. All right. So I explained to you, right? What are the things that keep us from being authentic? Why is being authentic difficult? I just told you that being authentic is difficult because nakedness can hurt. We don't want to be seen when we don't want to be seen when we're naked. And we don't want to be known when we are naked as well. And in our nakedness, we surely don't want to be failures in our nakedness. And we want to get something from that risk of being vulnerable. Okay. So yes, let's move on. Be compassionate with yourselves. So I want to jump right in and tell us why being authentic is really a source of power that we can tap into. Being vulnerable is a superpower. Being vulnerable allows us to be who we are and face challenges, showing up showing up as our imperfect self. And why is that powerful? Because when you're your imperfect self, you can be at ease. There's nothing to mess up on. There's nothing to not get. There's nothing to be worried about, because all those things really are a story of what we think is possible. But when we're sitting in our imperfect self, we're already at the place of shortcoming. We know we are clear about our shortcomings. We're clear about what we don't have, right? So at least we're not, at least as we ourselves, at least we are not failing in that regard. And we get to learn in that imperfection what we can do and who we can be, right? Because one of my great elders said that God is a God who loves our imperfections, right? And we came to this earth to learn and to grow. No matter what spiritual tradition you believe in, everyone knows on this earth you start as a baby. And what does a baby do as it reaches towards its adulthood? It grows, right? So we're all on this level. We're all on this earth level to grow and to transcend our imposed limitations and the societal limitations that we're put on. And as I was saying, I feel like, so for me, being vulnerable means that I can sit in my imperfections of sometimes not being insecure, maybe about the sound of my voice, or being maybe insecure about how I feel the organization of the lesson is, and being insecure about the impact of the lesson I'm making. And all of those things tell us something, though, right? So as we're sitting in our imperfections, we get clarity about where we are, and we get clarity about our limits. And but in these limits are just are actually related to our desires to want to be more, to manifest more. So for example, because I think that I'm not clear, right? The truth is I want to be clear, and I'm working towards that manifestation. So do you see how that imperfection is, or in the imperfection or that shortcoming is actually related to the desire to be different. So I want you to see your imperfections, what you think you're not great at, what you think you lack, what you think is not within your frame of what you think is not in your frame of spiritual power, is actually the key to unlocking what you want in life and what you can and what you want to manifest and what you desire. So, and that is why, for me, being vulnerable is a superpower. It allows us to see our imperfections as the key to manifestation. It gives us clarity about what we don't have so that we know what we want. And as and um because because we because we're clear about those limitations, we can do something different. So that's the whole point of that's the whole point of really sitting in who you are. So for my guests who have just arrived, I'm talking about the power of authenticity. I have discussed 4 things that make authenticity difficult, that keep us from being our authentic self. And those things are nakedness, and those things are the hurt that comes with nakedness, right? The nakedness, we don't want to be seen in that. We don't want to be known in our nakedness, and we surely don't want to fail in our nakedness and look like a fool out here. So jumping right back into that lesson, when we are ourselves, right, we can really be empty publicly, and we can be powerful, and everywhere that we go, we can still be in this place of being seen and not be afraid that people can do anything with it. Because you've already announced who you are, and therein is your power, right? All your imperfections and all the things that you are good at make up who you are. So is that and it's true that when you show up fully as yourself, right, you are risking something, right? So I'm showing up as myself every day, or at least I'm trying to, right? To be fully Black, fully queer, fully masculine of center, fully a brother, fully a friend, fully Southern, and all the other identities that Karen, we're fully intelligent, fully sexy, fully powerful, and realizing that showing up as all of these things can be dangerous to people who don't respect difference or your difference, and who have not been able to master publicly showing their difference in public. You may come off as being all that. You may come off as being you may come off as being more than you actually are. But I don't want you to worry about that in those people. I want you to shine. Like I fully believe, I know that my energy is a sun energy, that I'm a light bringer, in that some people who don't like that light energy that exposes the hidden things in their life, I'm gonna always tell people what I see, even if it offends them, because I know my light can help people get out of their patterns of brokenness and dysfunction. But not everybody wants to have light in their life, like my one of my spiritual advisors was telling me, in that for me, I have to always step into light in leadership roles and know that my light is a balm instead of a threat. It's a balm to the people who are looking for light. And so it's not to dismiss people who don't have light energy or sun energy. Some people have moon energy. Some people have dark energy, and we need the night to sleep, right? You don't sleep in the light time. So it's not. I'm not saying that one type of energy is better. I'm saying that if you if you're not meant to be liked. You're not meant to be liked. You're meant to be in your power and in your purpose on this planet. You're meant to do what the Creator has called you to do, and that is to show up as yourself every day in your imperfections. And so I want you to not hide your light. If you're not a light person, I don't want you to hide your darkness. I don't want you to hide your water. I don't want you to hide your fire. I don't want you to hide the things about you that make you beautiful and that make you strange to some people. I want you to tap into the things that don't make sense, the things that are peculiar about you, because things that are peculiar about you is the thing that will open doors in your life. And how do I know this? Because for me, for the past decade, I've been really risking, like intentionally, to share more of myself and be open. Some people will laugh at the things that I'm saying, but they don't know that I'm actually practicing the intentionality of being vulnerable. Like, and because also, like, you don't have to announce that you are working to be vulnerable. You do this for yourself. You know, it's a difference between, you know, being publicly vulnerable and also being attention seeking, right? So I just want to put that caveat in there. So as I am saying that, I want us to tap into our peculiarness, our strangeness, when we feel that we want to be something else to get people to like us or to get whatever reward as it goes with being other things other than we are. I want us to instead tap into our power of being real, of being us. And how do you know that you're not being real? I'll leave you with this. You tend to do the things that people want you to do at the expense of what you feel about a thing. Sometimes you don't always have to say yes. You can say no. You can say no to people and let them sit with that. And you can change your mind about the no. But the inability to say no is an abandonment of your power. The second thing is you related to that, the way that you know you're not being vulnerable or and authentic is you ignore what you need and show up anyway. I think some of us in leadership situations definitely do this. We'll give these sermons at church. We'll teach these kids. We'll show up as mother, as father, as brother, as sister, as friend, and give, and not really have that boundary on us of what we can give in that moment. And as a system of energy, you have to be clear that as you give, you also need to replenish. And where are you giving that you should be? Where are you giving to others that you should be giving to yourself? Right? I want you to think about that, because my job as a healer is not to tell you what to do. It's to walk with you, to empower yourself, to make choices for yourself, and also identify where you're not being your most authentic self. So that is my job as a freedom doctor, and as a healer, right? And the last thing that will signal to you that you're not being authentic is doing things to go along to get along. There are ways that many of us who are caretakers kind of just do things in our families, in our communities, in our spiritual centers. We just do things so that we can keep peace with people, because we know that maybe because the space seems to need us so much, that if we don't do the thing, then people may be angry with us when we know we may need rest. For example, there may be other reasons why we do things to get along, just to get along. But I think we need to think about why we're doing those things so that we can get back to authenticity, right? Yeah. So I really want to leave you with a question. Do you want freedom? Do you want the type of freedom that allows you to be your imperfect self wherever you go? And in that imperfection, open the doors that your purpose will open for you. Not that, and what this means is not that by being yourself that you'll get everything you want, right? It means that I mean that as you are your imperfect self, that you'll be more in line with your destiny and your purpose. And those purpose-filled doors will open always. That's guaranteed. So if you want that, join me in this affirmation. And this is something that I say to myself, and I'm saying to myself in the present in my life, right? So I want you to repeat after me. I don't have to risk not being who I am to have what I want. I don't, and I'll say that a different way. I don't have to risk who I am to have what I want. I don't have to risk who I am to have what I want. I don't have to risk who I am to have what I want. I don't have to risk who I am to have what I want. And so we have two more. I think everybody has healing potentiality. I think everybody has healing power in them, right? And so this affirmation really goes with that. My vulnerability, I want you to repeat after me. My vulnerability helps heal those parts of myself that are tender. My vulnerability helps heal those parts of myself that are tender. My vulnerability helps heal those parts of myself that are tender. My vulnerability helps heal those parts of myself that are tender. My vulnerability helps heal those parts of myself that are tender. And why is this affirmation important? Because there are many of those of us who are in our families, in our communities, that we feel like if we're vulnerable, those things that are about that make us feel that make us feel tender, it will keep us from being loved and keep us being supported. But you know, the people who don't love you in your tenderness, they're not the people in your purpose that are supposed to nurture you anyway. Because the truth is, some people can't take your tenderness. Some people can't take the fullness of who you are. But I want you, as you sit in your imperfection, as you share with people the things that you don't feel so sure about in yourself, that you know that there is somebody who can hold that. And for me, I'm a person, like if you ever need advice, again, on some of these things, you can tap this hotline on my page that is on the Medicine Mondays and Freedom Fridays page. The hotline number is a number that you can text, is a number that you can ask questions. So let me go to and see if I have any new questions, and I don't. It's all good. So yeah, so my vulnerability helps heal those parts of myself that are tender. So yeah, be empowered in sharing yourself, and don't worry about the people who don't receive you. Don't worry about that, because there's somebody meant to receive you, and you know what? You can hold yourself. I think God has made us all efficient in holding. God's given us all the capacity to hold our heart. We can hold our heart. We can learn those skills. And if you follow me, I'll teach you how to hold your own heart. How about that? So the last affirmation is, I am strong enough to face all my challenges naked. I'm strong enough to face all my challenges naked. I'm strong enough to face all my challenges naked. I'm strong enough to face all my challenges naked. Thank you so much, great Umi, for saying that. Umi, the great theater conductor, the great theater artist, Jay Lambert, Elder in Jamile says, yes, I love this vulnerability. Showing up fully opens you up, the spirit in its fullest. Ashe, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to keep ourselves open so that we can receive, and we can give what we were meant to do as we came on this earth, right? So again, before we go, I want to say this last affirmation one more time. I am strong enough to face all my challenges naked. You are strong enough to face all your challenges naked. And why? Because you are powerful, you are capable, and you have the power to be free. Let's get free, y'all. This is Medicine Monday with the Freedom Dr. Roman Johnson, and I'll see you next Monday. Peace.